Welcome to this episode of the Customer Centric Retailing Podcast. This is Anil Patel, founder and CEO of Hotwise Commerce. In this podcast, we discuss e-commerce, omnichannel technology, pre-order management, brick and mortar operations, retail culture, innovation, and how all these elements come together to create customer-centric retailing. Join us to hear the brightest minds in the retail industry share their experiences and thoughts on the most relevant topics today. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Customer Centric Retailing Podcast. Today, we have with us Jeff Fisher. He's VP of Retail at Blenders Eyewear. Jeff, welcome. How are you doing today?
I'm excellent. Thanks for the invitation, Anil. It's great to be with you.
Awesome. We are really pleased you accepted our invitation, and I'm excited for the conversation we are going to have today. I have had some experience working with retailers in eyewear, and I'm really excited to talk about your experiences and see what we learned.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
And you wear eyeglasses, so you have some personal experience in shopping it as well.
Yes. And some fun and some bitter ones.
Of course.
Cool. So, let's get started with as per our tradition, we'll first start with you tell us about yourself, your journey from wherever you want to start, and then till we are here today as a VP of Retail for such a fun eyewear brand.
Absolutely. So, like many in the industry, I began my retail journey by working the sales floor. Several 100,000 may I help yous later, which is one of my least favorite ways to engage with the customer, by the way. I've risen through store ops to visual merchandising and store experience positions into retail leadership roles. I consider myself a collaborative retail leader that creates shopping experiences. My current role, as you said, is I lead all aspects of Blenders Eyewear physical retail channel with a strong initiative to really drive growth. I'm also the co-founder of my own podcast, or with my partner, Retail Done Right, and that is also a consultancy that I had and still active, where I get to talk to some very cool people like you do, Anil, and advise clients on a variety of topics relating to retail, like visual merchandising process, the overall shopping experience, and even a store build process. A few of my previous roles prior to arriving at Blenders was the Global Store Experience Director for Natuzzi, based in southern Italy, where I had responsibility over their three brands, Natuzzi Italia, Natuzzi Editions, and Divani and Divani. I was with Luxottica, where I was Global Store Experience Director based in Milan. And I spent a little time at an experiential marketing agency called Wong Doody in Seattle. And I've also worked for Sprint, which is no more. They're now part of T-Mobile. Lego, the National Basketball Association. And very early in my career, I was at Universal Studios, which is really where I believe I honed my talent for storytelling. No better place for me to have learned the value and importance of storytelling. So it's a little bit about me.
Wow. No, this is definitely, I'm sure it is, because you have done so much. At the same time, it's really exciting, and all these names that you talk about are really prestigious names with a lot of respect, and they've earned and they've done a lot in the retail experience. Except for Sprint. I've had few bitter experiences there.
Yeah, I understand. That was a fascinating time, actually, because I was responsible for the physical store experience, and I was really tasked. The mantra was what should retail be for Sprint, and I really had the opportunity to dive into the data to learn more about the customers coming into the store, why they were coming into the store. And Sprint was really ranked low on customer service and customer satisfaction at that time. And it was really telling with the who was coming into the store, and it gave me the opportunity to really transform the experience to address pain points. We tracked everything. We implemented some, I thought at the time, very, very innovative aspects and elements that really were there to cater to the type of customer and the reason why the customer was coming into the store. And we were able to move the needle a little. We were one aspect of a much larger company, though. But we were able to really move the needle. And I think we addressed some people who came into the store and were able to give them a positive experience. But I don't think you're alone. So
No, I'm sure that you did really good, and it's a big company, and it's like early days of cell phone network, and everybody was trying to figure out what to do with it. So, I won't blame anyone for that. At the same time, I'm sure, your experiences in different companies, the difficult experiences give us opportunity to learn a lot more. Like your experience at Sprint, in fact, I would say post-COVID, the new kinds of experiences, new kinds of challenges have popped up. And particularly, in retail where, like we were talking earlier, we have people in the store facing customers, and definitely the society has changed. The way people interact with each other has changed. And with that said, I'm sure you are handling a new level of challenges in retail, different but new challenges. And your experience, I'm sure, is helping Blenders Eyewear to deliver that great experience in store when customer comes in. So let's talk about impact of physical retail on particularly in the digital first brands, the brands that start with the digital, start selling there, and then slowly start opening stores. Like every other company, when they get into a different kind of delivery model, there's a lot of learning and a lot of challenges, even though for someone else, if they started with a physical retail, they would kind of know it. But when you move from one to the other, there are challenges. So can you tell us about how this whole digital first company is moving into physical retail and why they do it, number one, and then the challenges they face, but then what's the motivation to keep fighting to deliver the best results?
Yeah, we truly are a direct-to-consumer brand. Really, the majority of our sales really come from e-commerce today. And Blenders really entered physical retail a bit by accident, by just simply based on people kind of knocking on the front door, really just opening a very small shop in the corner of our headquarters. And they just really, they had, Blenders was founded in Pacific Beach in San Diego. The founder still lives in the community. The brand is 12 years old, and he's really created a brand and really connected in with the consumer, even though our sales are, all over the place from an e-commerce perspective. But that opportunity, clearly there was a demand for customers to want to really have a tangible physical relationship with the brand. And that's where that first physical retail store really came to life. Community is incredibly important for the brand as well, as really connecting in with the community. And so I think they found and they learned and they discovered that the brand really gains value with having a physical presence. That one store, and retail is very new for Blenders. That one store led to another, and that was about 30 minutes north in another beach community, and we now have a total of 6 stores, really primarily in the Sunbelt states. where we have a variety of sizes and in a bit of a variety of locations, and some of that was done based on really understanding where the business is coming from a market level perspective, and trying to see the value of adding a physical store in that community. But also really to understand learnings and to get more learnings about it. As the company is truly direct to consumer first, e-commerce first, that is a very different operating model than physical retail, which you can be very fast in e-commerce, and physical retail is a little bit slower. It requires more work up front, more planning, in order to really be able to communicate the information to the stores, to the store teams, to really be able to make the product come to life with all the displays, the visual merchandising, the point of purchase displays, the graphics, the storytelling, everything that you want to add. Sometimes you have to print and ship to the store as well. So there's just a lot of different things that are a lot of aspects in physical retail, with that are a bit slower, but that interaction with the customer takes the brand and the experience to a whole new level, in my opinion.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Particularly eyewear is very personal. So if you're buying online, other than very generic, if there's anything that is different, which is Blender's almost whole catalog is, people want to really have physically see it before they buy it, even try it on. Otherwise, I think they buy it and probably they already have in mind that I might return it. So that's like another issue. And I've seen that, I've been talking to various retailers, and one thing that people always talk about is that because of the added experience and the showroom experience of the store as a media, that impact actually is critical and it helps. In fact, when you open a store in certain region, your online sales also pick up from that region. What do you think about that?
Yeah, that's very true for us as well. And I'll just piggyback on something that you said a moment ago as well. The vast majority of eyewear is still sold in physical stores. I believe the last statistic I saw was over 80%. We've really proven the model a little differently by being so e-commerce led. So it's really quite fascinating, and I think retail is physical retail, offline shopping, whatever term you want to use is very, very relevant. Eyewear in particular is a very personal decision. To your point, I mean, you wear eyewear, so you I think completely understand that. Often, this is a decision that you often make with someone that you trust. Many people don't shop eyewear alone. Some people do, of course, but many people don't. They want someone with them that they trust. This is something that you put on your face. This is extremely personal. It becomes really who you are and how you present yourself to the world. And understanding and appreciating that is key. We're not here really just to sell. We're here to help you become you, help you allow your personality to shine, allow you, and we're mostly in the sun, so it can be a very different experience when you're shopping optical versus sun. Sun allows you to be very practical, but also to have a heck of a lot of fun, to really allow you to change your personality or represent a different part of your personality, to be bold. And I think that's also the part of the beauty of Blenders is we are very much about offering great design, bold, colorful, very much in many respects, great quality at a very reasonable price. So we're really talking about the opportunity to have multiple pairs, which I think is much more interesting and much more fun because we're not the same person throughout our day. The brand also is very, very positive. And I think that also leans into the connection that so many people have with Blenders. To your point about the benefit of physical store at a market level is very, very much aligned with our experience as well. We have seen when we've added a store in a market that our overall business, online and offline, looking at it together, is better, is performing better. If we're down, we're not as down. If we're up more, fairly consistently across our network of stores at the DM level, or the DMA level, or the market level. Our stores are very young, so I only have 6 stores today, and not all of them have even comped yet. But a couple of them are in areas that are highly tourist traffic driven. So that is a very different. It's harder to correlate directly with a DMA market level online sales with the physical store sales, because we know that a couple of our stores, like I said, are highly trafficked by tourists, international and domestic tourists, and so therefore, and our local, the percent of true local traffic is extremely low. We're talking probably less than 10%. So that correlation isn't as strong. But what that also is giving us is the opportunity to tell our story, because Blenders has had tremendous, a huge number of impressions because of our performance marketing, and we're e-commerce driven, so we're always advertising on social media, but still it takes multiple impressions to really connect in oftentimes with consumers. And our stores are billboards. Our stores are marketing vehicles in and of themselves. And so it gives people the opportunity to say, well, maybe I've seen that brand. Let me check them out more. And I think we have the luxury in many respects of telling a deeper, richer story than oftentimes you can get online. And the brand can really come to life in a physical dimensional way, and you get to talk to somebody who's been, who's really bought in and represents the brand and is well versed in the brand and who we are and what we're all about.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, in fact, like you said, this product is so personal, and definitely, the location of your stores is different in many ways, and its impact. I could clearly see that, because you have e-com, people in tourist place, there are like so many new people coming in. And so in general, the awareness, like you said, stores are billboard. You get a lot more impression there, and complementing your online advertising, which is helpful actually. And similarly, like, when people come in, do you think when they come in the store, the way they experience the eyewear and the whole experience in the store for eyewear, for sure, the product is very different from me going to buy other fashion products like apparels or shoes. So what do you think? How is the store organization, the people, how they work, how the customer experience is designed? How is it different from other kind of retail, particularly for eyewear?
Yeah, the stores are really also an incredible lab for us to really understand, much more directly how they interact with our product, what they're drawn to. We have the luxury, as you said early, we have the luxury of really supporting the customer in trying on the product. I mean, that's what it's all about. It's like you have to put it on your face. You have to see how it feels, see how it fits. That immediately makes the experience much more interactive and much more engaging and much more experiential. It's also a huge differentiation than shopping it online, because you're going to see immediately the size, the fit, the comfort, the clarity of the lens. Does it really represent who I am? Is it really reflective of me? And we can talk and augment and add, and really, it's not even from a hard sell perspective, because it's the last thing we want to do. I think what we really look at is really just trying to engage and really build and create relationships with the customers and really listen. Because we have this luxury and this opportunity to really be face to face with the customer, and the customer can tangibly pick up the product and interact with it. We get to watch, and we get to learn, and we get to comment, and I think that trust factor is really key. We're here to take care of them. We're here to wow them in many respects. Blenders in particular, we've really defined what we call Blenders behaviors, and it's really not about a linear sales process or a step by step. It's much more about behaviors and principles that we really want our team members to buy into. And I'll share them with you, because I think it really sets the tone for who we are as a brand. And they're really not in any order. So, treat everyone as if they have 1 million followers. You don't know who you're talking to, and you don't know what type of day anyone is having. You want to lean in, and you want to treat everyone, with respect, with engagement, with warmth, with being welcoming. Dance energy. Dance energy is contagious. Bring it. We're a sunglass shop in many respects. We do sell prescription eyewear. It's an online sell, so it's an assisted sell. The value we bring and the quality we bring is remarkable, and the style we bring as well. But we're here. So we're here to really change the game on prescription eyewear too. That energy is critical to the success of who we are. Be the local. We have stores in market. Community is critically important to us. Connecting in with the local community, connecting in, who our customers are. We are our customers, and our customers are us. We need to be that local. We should absolutely be that local in stores where we're in a more tourist location, so we can really, support them and guide them and suggest great locations to go, great food, great bars, great whatever it is, museums, social, cultural, just things to do. What's happening in the community that weekend is critical. Be the style master. I mean, we're talking sunglasses here. And then sell the stoke, not the shade, always. This isn't about selling. This is about really fostering and creating a relationship. So, I think that the only thing I would add to that is, we look and we evaluate how customers shop our website. We also have really tried to embrace and look at how we can really leverage how they're shopping online and create a consistency with our organization in the store. And that gives a familiarity to customers when they come in, especially if they're familiar with who Blenders is. But we also, really want to make sure that we're highlighting the newest items in the front window, the newest collections on the front table, and then give some organization with commonality and shape and size, and really present our product in the easiest possible way to shop. everything's open sell. We want to get the product. We want to get our sunglasses in our customers' hands.
Awesome. Really good. Really good. Now, you talked about a lot about the experience, the culture, and your associates, they live that culture and help the customer and build the trust with the brand. And there's a lot of energy, a lot of effort that goes into it, particularly of the store associates as they go through the day. And now what I'm thinking about is, because you are a digital first brand, also your stores are a lot of your stores are in the tourist places. Chances are that there's this customer coming in the store, associate spends a lot of energy on them, they talk to them, they spend a whole good part of the day, and the customer is really satisfied, but probably they may not buy the product on that day in the store. And they'll go home or somewhere and then maybe browse online. Now, because they understand the product, various kinds of fits and all that, so they know what they want to buy. Now they can choose from the online catalog and place the order and get the item delivered. What I'm trying to get to is that the sale is made online. But our store associates worked hard to bring that customer, to earn the trust, help the customer make that decision to buy. How do you take care of this whole equation where store has their own performance, their own KPIs? The associates are their success is measured in a certain way. How do you align those things wherein they have put in all the energy, but the sales happen in the online store, and really sometimes it is very hard to connect those two links. So tell us about what you do there.
Yeah, absolutely. I would start by saying that my podcast is all about the changing nature of retail, and it's exactly what your question is all about. This is an incredibly interesting and dynamic time in retail. If you like retail, this is a great time to be involved in retail. You're also referring to what the industry calls omnichannel. And I personally don't like that word. I don't really know what it really means. It's like, oh yeah, it's everything. It's omni. It's so esoteric. I like to say it's the customer channel. Retailers and brands need to support the customer, however they want to shop, when they want to shop, where they want to shop. That's our role today. It's all about it. It should be all about the customer. And that is really why, from a behavior perspective, we say sell the stoke, not the shade, because they may not buy in the store today, and that's completely okay. We hope that we've really created that spark, that connection, that point that maybe starts to lean into a relationship, so they will go online and check us out, or as they're scrolling through social media and they come across the brand again, they're like, oh yeah, I had that great experience in the store, let me check them out now. And we're super easy to work with from a return perspective. So, we try to absolutely minimize the barriers. It's really about, like I said up front, it's about wowing the customer. It's not about creating barriers. There's no doubt that there are challenges when it comes to a P&L perspective. If you start to look as many more traditional retailers do, if you're looking at your business by business unit and a P&L at the business unit level, it can be challenging. That's where evaluating the online sales and the offline sales at the DMA level can start to represent the value that the brand is really bringing, and the physical stores in particular are really bringing to the business overall. We track impressions online. There's no reason why we can't track impressions from our physical retail store as well. We have a lot of eyes on our stores as people are walking by the stores, or people are in a community and we have a sense of what the traffic is on the street. They may not all be coming into the store, but there's to our point a moment ago, there's a billboard aspect to this. There's an out-of-home aspect to this. Well, you track impressions or eyes or cars based on a billboard perspective, there's no reason why we can't look at that from a physical store perspective as well. So all of these things I think are really important. There's no doubt that there are times where you have to look at your P&L at the store level or at the physical retail P&L level as well, to make sure that you're driving the business and operating the business as efficiently as possible, in an effort to be as profitable, or at least bring a contribution to the overall business. Net sales are incredibly valuable and incredibly important, but maybe in the stores we can be more regular priced, and we can be maybe, we match sales, and pricing is never an issue. We're a very reasonably priced brand, but we may not have to, we don't have to ship product to a customer's home. So there's some savings there. We may not have to discount as often. As many direct-to-consumer brands or online shopping, you get these pop-ups that have 15% off for your first order. We don't necessarily always have to have that in our physical store. So there are some potentially less discounting, which only helps us on our profit and our margin as well. So there's a variety of ways of looking at the business in an effort to see how healthy we are.
Awesome. No, this is really good. In fact, I like how you see it, the physical retail, and definitely physical retail and in the sales in the stores definitely are more profitable. Like you said, for many reasons, including you don't have those shipping costs. Also, the returns are very less. And a lot of times these stores also act as a place where a customer might bring in your something they bought online. But then, they probably want to exchange it for something else. So there's opportunity to upsell. So there's a lot of those opportunities where customer, can experience the product and buy it at the same and get a good build the trust. At the same time, associates can make new sales and make money, and so the stores get profitable. Now let's come to that term omni-channel, for where you said customer is the channel, the customer's channel, which is great. In fact, but now that in this like you mentioned in your podcast, Retail Done Right, this whole mixing of these channels, buying online, returning in store, and all sorts of stuff. Once I was talking to one, expert from the retail industry, and he mentioned something that was interesting, that if I have stores, I should stock as much possible in the stores, because that inventory sitting in the warehouse is doing nothing. If I can use my stores more and more for stocking all my inventory, then it's good, because now the customer coming in, probability of them getting the item immediately available is higher. At the same time, with this whole, customer channel philosophy, this whole buy online, pick up in store, and also sometimes shipping from store makes sense. I don't know if it makes sense for your business, but other businesses, they use that also. So do you see the role of retail locations playing wider role than just fulfilling orders for the walk-in customers? But do you see that, more inventory in the store helps sell more? Also, buy online, pick up in store, and even delivering online orders or shipping online orders from the store makes sense for your kind of business?
Yeah, for us, we distribute or we fulfill our online orders from a central location. For us, it doesn't really make sense to fulfill at the store level. And I think we're much more efficient by fulfilling the way we do. But that's the nature of our product. We don't, the assortments aren't radically different online versus in store. Yes, we probably have less SKUs in some of our stores than we do online, but overall, our bigger stores, we can really offer almost the entire assortment. But the entire assortment doesn't sell equally well, and tying up inventory, is, I think, a whole different topic. I think you really want to be as efficient with your inventory, because you're tying up capital if you have a bunch of inventory sitting all over the place. So for us, I think, as the stores are young, we start to learn the differences of what is selling in the different communities that we're in, because there are absolutely differences with what is driving the sales at the store level. So we tailor our assortments, and we want to really make sure that we're as efficient as possible. We don't want to pay for a lot of excess space that is not being productive either. In a physical retail store, we really need to keep our stores as operationally efficient as possible. And typically your lease is your biggest fixed cost, and that can really make or break you in terms of the success of the store. So, paying for back rooms that really aren't warranted or necessary in a business like ours doesn't really make a lot of sense. At the same time, we offer endless aisle. So anything online, we're going to ship directly to your home. As we're a direct-to-consumer brand, most people and people overall, consumers overall, are becoming more and more and more comfortable and familiar with that, because the shift to online continues, and they're very, very comfortable and familiar with that. So even at the store level, they can try on a bunch of different ones, but maybe the color that they want is not available, so we can ship it directly to their home, at no cost, no shipping costs, free shipping. So, and we're quite efficient. So we don't offer buy online, pick up in store. That's more of a POS limitation for us right now. So as soon as that is addressed, we're going to offer it. That's, we're a Shopify house. So as soon as that functionality is offered from the core Shopify POS, as opposed to an additional plugin, because, we only have 6 stores. We're primarily Sun. Our prescription eyewear is an online sale only, because it goes through one central lab. So it's an online process anyway, and it's shipped directly to people's homes there. We don't fulfill at the store level for prescription eyewear. That really, I want to offer it, just because I think it leans into what I call the customer channel. It leans into that. It allows us to offer that. But in all honesty, I don't think that many people are going to really take advantage of that. Sunglasses are different, as we talked about, than optical. Sunglasses oftentimes are an impulse purchase, or they're more of an accessory, or maybe a fashion accessory or a functional accessory. So we encourage multiple pairs because of the price point that we're at and the value that we offer. So I think that is really where our stores are the most efficient. It's really our stores are the most efficient in terms of engaging with the customer and creating that connection and that wow, and bringing the energy to the conversation.
No, this is great. Yeah. So you mentioned that about Shopify POS and all that. So I see that a lot of these digital first companies, they are using Shopify platform because it helps them very quickly spin up online store and really easy to manage and all that. Then, it's natural that as those digital first retailers start opening retail locations, they start using Shopify POS. But then also I know you have a lot of experience with retailers that are like really big, have many retail locations, and they have used point of sale systems that are much more sophisticated in terms of functionality and all that. So tell us about your experience working with Shopify POS, and if there's anything you wish, like you said, buy online, pick up in store, something similarly, like, what is your experience so far, and what direction you want to see Shopify POS go as far as providing capabilities for managing store?
I think the biggest value is of using the same platform online and in store, offline and offline, is that we have one view of the customer, and I think that's critical. And I think when Blenders started, they had a separate POS for the stores, and that was very cumbersome. So I think by having one view, one system, we've streamlined our processes internally. It helps with fulfillment. It helps across multiple aspects of the business, but most critically, we have really one view of the customer, whether they shop from us online or offline or both. How they entered the relationship, we know, whether it was a physical retail store or online. I think all of those are incredibly valuable and beneficial for us. I think that Shopify started as an online e-commerce platform, so it only makes sense that their Shopify POS wasn't as robust as their e-commerce platform, but I think they've done a really excellent job building it and adding the functionality. And I think the other thing that I would say is, they have listened and are listening, and they're open to the conversation and they're open to the feedback, and they have a very robust pipeline. So I think that all points lead to a very positive experience overall. Because of that, there's some wonkiness. There's returns and exchanges in particular are challenging. Buy online, pick up in store is challenging. There's a few other things as it relates to discounting, but they know it and they're working on it. So I think overall it's extremely positive.
Yeah, makes sense, because I've been working with few retailers who are using Shopify POS. And like you said, other than few things that we can live with today, in general, it's much easier to work with, and the single view of customer is very important. And that's the reason why people are always, clearly they can live with the difficulties that they have today, but the benefits are so much more that they don't worry about that. And definitely Shopify is taking care of, and new features are continuously coming in. And so soon they'll resolve a lot of those quirkiness that customers are experiencing, and feedback is being received by the company. Cool. So, towards the end, I really, I want to talk about sustainability with you. We are at this time when, we are producing a lot of stuff. We are consuming a lot of stuff. The products we build are high quality, means their wear tear is low, they last long. So there's all these things. At the same time, I want to buy more because new products are so attractive. I like them and I want to buy. I'm also concerned about the environment, the impact on environment. So this whole sustainability and the positive, how to manage the negative impacts on environment comes in. So tell us about the initiatives you are taking or you plan to do within your brand to support the whole idea of sustainability and help those customers that are conscientious about what they are consuming and how they, impact the environment.
Yeah, I believe sustainability is extremely important in so many aspects throughout your entire supply chain, all the way through to how how the customer walks out of the store. So and we sell eyewear, and we have played with different materials in the past, and we continue to explore different materials from a frame perspective as well, and it's very much of a live, ongoing internal conversation with, how fast do we lean into certain materials? How much can we play? But we're also at the same time looking across the organization for opportunities to make immediate impacts where we can. That includes anything from the packaging, the use of trying to minimize the use of plastics, trying to minimize the packaging in terms of our fulfillment. One thing that I'm right in the middle of right now is working on a different shopping bag for us, one that is fully 100% recyclable from the handle to the material, using sustainably sourced materials. It's small, but an important part, I think, overall of our journey. And I think our journey is really quite young and quite new, with, I think, a lot on the horizon for us to continue to push throughout the organization.
Yeah, I agree with you. And like in your organization, in general, the society is also, this whole idea is relatively new in terms of, we've seen in the last 30, 40 year consumption has increased. And a lot of those issues and concerns have come up. And now people are consciously making effort. But at the same time, we are trying out various ideas and coming up with the processes that will work, experiments and all that. So at the, I think the society is still in that evolution phase, early stage. And hopefully in next 5 or 10 years, we'll see some really good new ideas on sustainability really pick up, and we would see the impact. And then at that point, I think it will be emotionally much easier for us as we go buy new stuff. Well, Jeff, thank you very much. It was really good conversation with you today. I can go have this keep going, but I'm conscious of your time. So it was wonderful talking to you.
I appreciate the invitation. Great conversation. I hope to have the opportunity to continue it with you. So thank you, Anil.
Awesome. Thank you, Jeff. And we'll talk to you again soon.
That's it for this episode of the Customer-Centric Retailing Podcast. If you like what you heard, you can subscribe on Apple Podcast, Spotify, and Google Podcast. Please rate and review and recommend to a friend or a fellow retail fanatic. This podcast is presented by Hotworks Commerce.